Kevin Garnett to Anthony Edwards. Every Timberwolves era has had its star, and in the early 2010s, that star was Nikola Peković, a classic center with raw strength and unshakable balance.
Gets the ball in the hands of Big Peck. Turns inside. Nice move, and Pekovic scores on Tim Duncan.
Before the age of perimeter big men, he was among the most effective scorers and rebounders in the league. During his peak in the 2013-14 season, he averaged 17.5 points and 8.7 rebounds per game. He rarely relied on finesse. Instead, his strategy was simple: make space using strength and finish with shots near the rim.
My style of playing, that's something what I develop and all that. It's most of the time based on hitting people and everything, and that's what I do. That's how I, sacrifice my body and everything.
At his best, he was a nightmare, and nobody in the NBA wanted to mess with him.
Pekovic sets the screen not once but twice for Barea, and he takes advantage with the triple.
But behind the spotlight, his name was tied to controversy back home. With rumored mob connections and a ruthless style of play, fans nicknamed him the Godfather. This is the story of Nikola Peković. Nikola Peković started his career at the age of 17 in KK Atlas, a professional club in Serbia. This was the first turning point of his career. 2 years later, he joined Partizan Belgrade, where he sharpened his skills alongside veteran teammates and won 3 straight Serbian league titles. In the 2007-08 season, he averaged 15.2 points and 5.5 rebounds in the Adriatic League, scoring 20 or more points in 8 games, including a career-high 33 points and 11 rebounds. By season's end, Pekovic ranked among Europe's elite, averaging 16.4 points and 6.9 rebounds, all while collecting MVP honors in both the Adriatic League Final Four and All-Star Game. With numbers like that, the Greek club Panathinaikos signed Pekovic. His first season was a success as the team won the 2008-09 EuroLeague title and the Greek Cup. On a personal level, Pek continued to shine, averaging 13 points and 3.8 rebounds while shooting 63.4% from the field and 77.5% from the free throw line. He played a key role and even scored the game winner in the semifinals against Olympiacos. The next year, Pek improved again to 14.8 points and 3.5 rebounds per game, again shooting over 60% and won the Greek League title. Then, finally, NBA scouts came knocking on the door with a 3-year, $13 million deal with the Minnesota Timberwolves. However, the transition was tough, and Pekovic struggled in his rookie season.
It was a big transition for me to come here, and with all these troubles, I got most of my troubles like foul troubles and everything, and last year was not really great.
He picked up non-stop fouls and couldn't stay on the court. In 887 minutes, he racked up 181 fouls, one every 5 minutes. Many thought that he wouldn't make it in the league, and at one point, he even thought about leaving the NBA and going back home. But for Pekovic, basketball was all he ever knew. "When you put your whole life in basketball, and if you don't succeed, you're in trouble," said Pekovic. Unlike the US, kids in Europe who pursued sports rarely had a college degree or a backup plan. Pekovic was no different. There was nothing back home. It was all or nothing. Nikola Peković was born in 1986 in Bielopolje, in today's Montenegro. Back then, it was still a part of Yugoslavia, a country breaking apart with war and rising ethnic tensions. Growing up was hard for Pekovic, and it shaped his vision in life and his drive in basketball. Pekovic started playing basketball almost by accident. As a kid, he didn't care for sports and only enjoyed fishing, but at 12, he suddenly grew 12 centimeters in 3 months, which caused back and knee pain. When his parents took him to the doctor, they were advised that sports would help. Pekovic wanted to play football, but his size made him a natural fit for basketball, where he was immediately made a center, a position he would keep for his whole career. The NBA was not even on his mind growing up, but in 1998, 2 Serbian players, Peja Stojakovic and Vlade Divac, joined the Sacramento Kings. Dozens of kids, including Pekovic, would gather in the neighborhood to watch NBA games late into the night in Bielopolje. The parents in the whole neighborhood would let us watch, Pekovic said. They knew how much we liked it. Seeing players from his region make it to the NBA gave Pekovic hope, but he never imagined he would become a part of that history. In his rookie season, Rick Adelman became head coach of the Timberwolves. For Peck, this was special because Adelman had coached the Sacramento Kings, the same team that inspired his NBA dreams years earlier. I never thought at that time I'd be a part of history. It was special for me because I watched him for many years before I started to play basketball, Pekovic said. I followed those playoff battles between Sacramento and the Lakers, so to later play for Rick Adelman was really something. In his second season, Timberwolves' starting center Darko Milicic went down with an injury, giving Peck the opportunity to step into the role. Pekovic put in the work, cut his fouls nearly in half from 181 down to 98, and became far more disciplined on the court. And more importantly, head coach Rick Adelman trusted him. And for the first time in years, the Timberwolves had a strong and reliable center. During the 2011-2012 season, he averaged 13.9 points and 7.4 rebounds per game and led the league in offensive rebounding. His 56.4% field goal percentage set a new Timberwolves franchise record, breaking Kevin Garnett's previous mark of 52.6%. When Peck got the ball down low, he was almost unstoppable. He used his size and strength to push his way near the basket, and very few centers in the league could stop him. Pekovic quickly became a fan favorite, and even finished third in the voting for Most Improved Player. In the following season, Nikola Peković solidified his role as the starting center for the Minnesota Timberwolves, and averaged 16.3 points and 8.8 rebounds per game. Even though the team only managed a 31-51 record, it was their best since Kevin Garnett's departure. Pekovic even scored a career-high 34 points against the LA Clippers, along with 14 rebounds that season.
Love gets it inside to Pekovic, working on DeAndre Jordan, buries it.
But Pekovic's most successful NBA season came in 2014, where he averaged 17.5 points and 8.7 rebounds per game, earning him a $60 million contract for 5 years. His strong play, combined with his heavy Balkan accent, made him a fan favorite in Minnesota. Soon, he earned the nickname the Godfather. At the Target Center, the famous theme music from The Godfather would play whenever Pekovic scored with a layup or his trademark right hook shot. By this time, Pekovic was known as one of the hardest players to guard, strong enough to battle Dwight Howard or DeMarcus Cousins. Andre Drummond once said, "He's by far the strongest human I've ever played against. I felt like a kid. He's the reason I started lifting weights more seriously." In a clash between Kevin Love and Danny Granger, Indiana Pacers guard Dante Jones singled out the Timberwolves big man and said, "Hey, we don't want any of you," he told Pekovic. "We don't want to mess with you." Jones had a valid point. It's not wise to mess with Peck, as his on-court nickname, The Godfather, was not just a marketing stunt. In 2018, Belgrade police arrested 2 men, Radushko Tomasevic and Ivan Golosovac, with weapons and guns in cars with American plates. And one of those cars, a BMW X5, was registered to a high-ranking member of an organized crime group, the Saric Crime Organization. That member was none other than Timberwolves center Nikola Peković. The Saric Crime Organization is one of the Balkans' most powerful cocaine smuggling networks. Its leader, Darko Saric, was sentenced to 15 years for smuggling cocaine. The NBA star's relationship with Duško Saric, the younger brother of alleged drug lord, was hardly a secret. In a 2017 interview, Pekovic called Duško his godbrother and acknowledged baptizing Duško's son and being his godfather. The Saric brothers and Pekovic are from the same town of Bielopolje, and reportedly, Pekovic even settled a €1 million debt linked to Duško Saric. Even though Pekovic insisted the friendship was purely personal and without business interests, local business registries showed that the 2 men co-owned hotel complex Mediterranean and a nightclub called Top Hill. Pekovic was never convicted of these allegations, and by the time it surfaced, he was already out of basketball due to injuries. Pekovic is a legend in Montenegro and even became the head of the Montenegrin Basketball Association. Backed by his great performances, many believe he could have pushed the Timberwolves into the NBA playoffs, if not for chronic foot injuries. Pekovic's NBA career was tough due to constant injuries. He was never in full shape as his size became his biggest problem, with long-lasting ankle issues, especially with his Achilles tendon. Pek missed 13 games in his rookie season. In his final years, things only got worse. In the 2014-15 NBA season, he only managed to play 31 games, and the following season, he could barely limp through 12 games after surgery on his right Achilles. And in 2017, he missed the entire season and was forced to retire. At his peak, few could match Pekovic in the paint. He was putting up near all-star numbers, but the Wolves lacked depth, and the Western Conference seemed too tough for the injury-prone team. While the NBA moved towards pace and space, Pek remained a throwback to the old power game. Together with Kevin Love and Ricky Rubio, Pekovic gave the Timberwolves their first real hope since the Kevin Garnett years. Pekovic brought muscle and strength to Timberwolves basketball. So even though he retired due to his injuries, fans still remember him as the Godfather.